read some books, some new adult books, some contemporary books, and then I binged on my current favorite historical romance author. So I finally got to read Asa. It released in April. It's the new and I think last book of the new adult marked men series. I think there's going to be a spin-off series though. This is about Asa, who is this reformed crook who is the brother of one of the earlier main characters. He's got a pretty nasty past, and she's a cop who has actually arrested him in the past. I've been looking forward to this storyline, and I gotta say I enjoyed it. The ending climactic struggle in this one is a wee bit melodramatic, but that's part of the charm of the genre, right? My Tied Up by Alice Clayton, book 4 in the Cocktail series. This one is about a former beauty queen who leaves her groom at the altar, and the veterinarian she meets, who also coincidentally had been left at the altar at one point in his life. And I don't know, this one was decent, but for me, there's just something about Alice Clayton's pacing that just doesn't sit right with me. It's just a bit off. I always think that I want to like her books, and I should like her books, and I kind of did like the first book in the series, but since then, without fail, she annoys me at some point in each book. I don't know. Continuing my way in the McCarthy's of Gansett Island series, I read book 4, Falling for Love. This is about an Oscar-winning screenwriter whose workaholism makes him lose his long-term girlfriend, and subsequently his career kind of implodes too. He goes home to Gansett Island to try to win her back, even though she's engaged to another man. Don't get confused, she's actually not the love interest in the story. That honor belongs to Stephanie, who works for his father on the island. I really like this story concept. I was pretty excited during the first part of the book, but then he gives up the struggle on getting his ex back way too early, and he suddenly goes from, I'm so in love with her, to, not so much. The tension here could have just been played up so much more for better effect. This book was pretty short, 250 pages, so maybe it could have benefited from a few extra pages to really bring the story home, which is my problem in general with the series. The books often lack the 100 extra pages needed to really flesh out the story. Okay, so let's talk about my ongoing project to read books with the most ridiculous titles I can find. Many of you have been instrumental in helping me find these books, especially my friend Amanda from the Marvelous Reading Room. She found me this book, The Wrong Cowboy by Laurie Robinson. This is a Western historical romance. It's about this nursemaid to a family of 6 orphans who concocts this complicated plot to take the kids to their next of kin by posing as his mail-order bride. But he's out of town for like 6 months, and they're left with his ranching partner Stafford Burleson. It was not the worst book. The missishness of the main character was faintly annoying and out of place in any novel written in 2014, but you know, it was still kind of fun. Not the worst ridiculous book I've ever read for sure. I read the first book in the Ladies of Lantern Street series by Amanda Quick, Crystal Gardens. Amanda Quick is the first romance author I ever read, and I keep a soft spot in my heart for her, but a few select of her books can be really slow. This is one of them. I had a super hard time getting through the first half, but after the halfway point it really picks up, and the whole premise, which is about this paranormal garden with mysterious secrets and oh yeah, it kind of eats people kind of thing, it's super atmospheric and kind of a more quietly menacing form of a Halloween maze, so it was kind of cool. Alright, I know this is a little out of season, but I read A Kiss for Midwinter, book 1.5 in the Brothers Sinister Regency romance series. Lydia, as a teenager, has a miscarriage of an illegitimate baby. Years later, the young doctor in training who knows her secret comes back into her life. I liked this book. Lydia borderline annoyed me, but not enough to make me dislike this book. Moving on in the Brothers Sinister series, I read book 2, The Heiress Effect. The premise of this one was a little tough to buy. Our main character is purposefully trying to alienate all potential suitors because she needs to stay home and protect her sister till her sister is of age, but her guardian will force her to marry the first man who offers, so she has to make sure no one offers. The whole premise deals with uncomfortable situations, and I am not a big fan of uncomfortable situations, but the book had its good moments, and so with caveats, I liked it. Then I read book 3, The Countess Conspiracy, which is about an infamous scientist whose theories scandalized the Victorian world. But what they don't know is that they're not even his theories. He's actually just the public face for the theories of his best friend, a female scientist. This story had been teased in the last book, and I wasn't sure of it at first, but holy cow, I ended up loving this book. I found the female lead really relatable, at least for me, and I just really love this book. Okay, so what series are you addicted to right now?